I love when we get to do this segment called the Mike Zeroh Lie of the Week.
Okay.
Because first of all, it could be really anything that I want, and ordinarily we award it to like a person, right? And it's been Mike Zeroh a lot because
he lies.
He just lies a lot.
He puts out like 17 videos a day, and all of them are lies.
Yes. In this
allegedly.
Yeah. No, they're all lies. I'm allowed to say that. What I'm not allowed to say is that he has a dildo at home engraved with Kathleen Kennedy's name. I can't say that because I don't know that. It's just that's what I heard.
Sources have told you.
Yeah, right,
allegedly.
Right. And he fucks himself with it every night. Anyway, so the Mike Zeroh Lie of the Week award this week doesn't go to a particular person, but a lie. Okay. And I'm going to preface this, and I've had to give this preface, I feel like, more and more. The wrong people will not be convinced by anything we're going to say in this. There are people who you could show them proof of a thing that challenges their beliefs, and they'll never change their mind. It's just they're incapable of it, right? And those aren't the people we're trying to reach. Like this video that'll be on YouTube exists for people who care about what's true instead of what makes them feel a certain way. And they approach the topic embracing the possibility that they could be wrong, right? But speaking about this Acolyte trailer thing, there is one unifying theme coming up a lot from a lot of the trolls and dumbasses in the comment section. And the more I've done research on this, the more enraged I've become about it, because when you dig deeper into it, it's really disgusting. But the claim is that the showrunner for the show, Leslye Headland, who worked at Miramax for 6 years and for a year was Harvey Weinstein's assistant, the accusation and the claim that's being made is that she was directly involved in his abuse of other women, and helped him, get girls or whatever. And at the very least was knowledgeable about what was going on and said nothing.
That's a very damning claim. I assume they have very persuasive evidence about this.
They do not.
I see.
Yeah. And it's like, so I started doing some digging in this, because if she was complicit, if she was involved, that's something I want to know.
Sure.
Because I'll tell you what's different between us and the people making these claims is that if I find out it's true, it doesn't matter what position she has or how much I like her. My immediate answer is throw her in jail. I don't have an allegiance toward a person that could do literally anything. And then me say, and I'm not trying to make any particular political ties on this, but there are two kinds of people in the world. There are people who, it doesn't matter who they are. If there's proof that they did something wrong, put them in jail. And the other people who, when the proof shows up that their person of choice did something wrong, no, it's because I like them. No.
Yeah.
But this other person I don't like, yes.
Fuck.
Right. Which is disgusting. So I started doing some digging into this, trying to find any shred of evidence that Leslye Headland was involved in any of this. And of course found none. Right. And the thing that I saw that was the closest to any kind of evidence, she was on the Andy Greenwald podcast a while ago. It was when she still worked for Harvey Weinstein. And said some nice things about Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
All right. And this is the most damning evidence that I found. And it's like, I mean, yeah. Like, you're not going to go on a podcast and shit talk your employer.
Yeah.
Especially at that time, who is an insanely powerful Hollywood producer. Of course she's not going to do that. So I wouldn't have, and so the claim was, oh, well, she was saying really nice shit about him then. And then when he was caught, she started saying really shitty things about him. You know what else that kind of suggests? That she didn't know, and then she found out, and then was like, he's a shit person.
Yeah.
It does seem like everyone in Hollywood knew that Harvey Weinstein on some level was kind of a bad dude. but the levels of what people knew vary. And there's no evidence whatsoever that Leslye Headland was involved in this. In fact, I couldn't notice a parallel between what they're accusing Leslye Headland of and you might remember the Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell thing.
Yep.
Right. You'll notice that this is what they want it to be. They want it to be a Jeffrey Epstein Maxwell thing. The thing is that Ghislaine Maxwell was implicated by all of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers. When they did their investigation into everything, they found proof that she was involved and she was helping, because that's not something you could actually hide.
Yeah.
And so she went to prison and she was found guilty of that crime. So
order. She was found guilty and then she went to prison.
Yes. Well, she was in jail, then she was found guilty, then she went to prison. So I started doing some digging into this, and I was like, okay, I wonder how many of Harvey Weinstein's accusers said, hey, Leslye Headland was the one helping him find
she knew
women.
About this.
Or at least Leslye Headland, his personal assistant, knew and turned a blind eye.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single person, not a single accuser in any of the court documents ever mention Leslye Headland at all, right?
Interesting.
You know who did know for a fact that Harvey Weinstein was involved in shit like this?
Who's that?
Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay.
We know this because one of Harvey Weinstein's accusers was like, yeah, Ben Affleck knew. Colin Firth.
Okay.
One of Weinstein's victims told him about what happened and asked for advice. Said nothing to anyone. Brett Ratner, who was later accused of sexual assault himself, knew and said nothing. Quinton Tarantino was dating one of Harvey Weinstein's victims while she was being abused by him. Knew what was happening, said nothing.
Jesus.
Quentin Tarantino to the New York Times. I knew enough to do more than I did. There was more to it than just normal rumors, the normal gossip. It wasn't secondhanded. I knew he did a couple of those things. Those people knew about what Harvey Weinstein did. Leslye Headland did not. And you know what the difference? You know why these assholes in these comment sections aren't going after Ben Affleck and Quentin Tarantino?
Because they're men.
They're fucking men. That's why. I don't see anyone saying, oh, you can't watch a Quentin Tarantino film because he knew about this. Quentin Tarantino wasn't involved. He just knew about it. And no one says a fucking thing about him, right? And this is the thing, is that if she was involved, like, send her to jail. But this is the thing. And this is for all of you. These guys will be in our comment sections. They'll try to accuse us of the most shocking things they can, right? Which always is you're a pedophile. Because there is some crazy projection happening where when you don't agree with them, you're a pedophile. It doesn't matter what you're arguing about. Yeah. It's just like, because it's a really shocking thing, and that's the only thing they care about, is making a really shocking accusation. Mm-hmm. And that's fine, because we won't see any of the comments anyway, because we have great mods that get rid of that shit really fast, and that's fine. You knock yourself up. The thing is, and this is for all of you, you don't give a fuck about Harvey Weinstein's victims. This isn't why you're bringing it up. Not a single one of these women, you don't care about any of their experiences, any of the things that they went through. And this is a convenient prop, because you're balls deep on the Star Wars woke Disney bullshit, and this was the best thing you could find was a tenuous at best relationship. And to parade that and to pretend like you are doing this, for the victims of Harvey Weinstein, when in fact, when it was happening, many, if not most of you, were cheering for Harvey Weinstein and supporting him and saying things in the comment section like, oh, well, do you know how often women falsely accuse men of sexual assault? Which, by the way, is hardly ever. It just doesn't happen as much as people think it does. You know what crime Leslye Headland is guilty of to these people?
She's a woman.
She's a woman and she's gay. That is the crime you're pissed off about. And to you, that's way worse than sexual assault. That's way worse than what, in your mind, is way worse than what Harvey Weinstein did to those women. So this won't change. If you are the person that I'm talking to right now, if this is you, your mind's not going to change. You're incapable of it. You don't have the cognitive process to realize that you may be wrong about something. And since you've publicly professed it, we know science, we have science on this. When you publicly profess something and you learn of evidence that directly contradicts it, instead of apologizing and saying you are wrong, you're going to double down. This is what we know people do, right? Mm-hmm. So say whatever you want in the comments. I don't care. The audacity that you cared about Harvey Weinstein's victims is fucking disgusting. And sure, we sit here with our 900 followers because we don't make videos buying into this bullshit. But at the very least, I go to bed every night knowing that I'm not a piece of human trash, which is what you are. So good job.